Alrighty, how's it going, Pokemon Go trainers? Welcome back to another episode of the Purified Podcast. Today is May 24, 2020. I am your host, Luis Palacios, with my co-host, Chris.
Hello, it's your boy Trigger.
Hey, how's it going, my good man?
Always a good week,
Always. Let me check this little Miss and see if it's shiny. I already got mine, so I'm good.
Oh my gosh.
I know, right? I know. But anyways, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Purified Podcast. That means we are going to be here to talk about all things Pokemon Go related news, updates, and ranting about things that we like about the game. We're here once again. Hey, Manny, looks like Manny made it. Woohoo!
Called it.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so, Chris, how's your week been so far?
It's been a really fun week, full of shinies. I mean, we just got done with the community day, and just a lot of good stuff going on. I mean, obviously we haven't seen a lot of people, but we've got to check a lot of Pokemon, so it's been fun.
Yeah, it's definitely been a interesting and wild week for a lot of people. If you think that last week's news were, packed with information and all that stuff, this week is gonna be nuts. This coming week is even worse in that sense, But that is what we're gonna be talking about today. Before we start, I'm just gonna go somewhere real quick here on my computer, make sure that I'm actually aware. Yes, it is. All right, cool. So, Chris, let's go ahead and talk our research topics for today, shall we?
Oh yeah.
All right. So the very first thing that we're gonna talk about, we're actually gonna be talking about what is going to be our next and the following one community days for June and July. But just as they did a couple of months back, we're going to be voting for our special Pokemon that we're going to see. So, Chris, can you first tell me what are the 4 Pokemons that we're going to have for this voting event?
Oh, yeah. There's some very good choices, in my opinion. You have Weedle, Ghastly, Squirtle, and Sandshrew. For the shinies we already have, there's 3 out of the 4. So there's only 1 new chance. So usually people are going to go for the new shiny. And not only that, the new shiny has a really good move. And the other moves just kind of don't hold up, in my opinion. But there is one that's really good.
All right. So just as Chris has mentioned, the 4 Pokemons that we're going to see here on our Community Day voting, it's going to be Weedle, Ghastly, Squirtle, and Sandshrew. Now, those 4, as he said, we have some interesting news coming around. Now, this time around, just like last time, it's going to be on a voting. Now, last time we had research in-game to vote for our favorite Pokemon that we want to vote for. They didn't give us an update until we actually had the voting done and the day was over. It was probably like a day or so after the actual day entirely changed. However, this time, because of the whole world pandemic that we're having, and we're probably going to be talking about this every time Pokemon Go releases something, our candidates are going to be chosen on Twitter. Now, Twitter, I know a lot of people, probably 90 to 95% of the world has Twitter at this point. And, it's a good way of getting around. Now, I know there are a lot of people who doesn't, so it kind of contradicts what they're doing. However, from May 23rd to May 24th, which is actually today, you'll be able to vote for one of your favorite Pokemon, what it is. Now, you'll be able to vote for them. The 2 Pokemon that receive the most votes will go on featuring during the next community days, with the Pokemon with the most vote features in June and the running-up features in July. So, as we already talked about the candidates, we're going to talk about what they make them the best candidates as our Pokemon Go choices. Squirtle, at least what they mentioned here in the blog post, Squirtle, when you evolve it all the way to Blastoise, the Pokemon will actually have the special move, the Fighting type attack, Aura Sphere. Currently only exclusive to Lucario, but now this will give it another chance to, battle all the Steel types and all that stuff. Hold on, Chris, I know you want to say something. Weedle evolved into Kakuna all the way in from Beedrill, all the way to Beedrill. It will actually know the special move, the special ground type move, Drill Drawn, And you need type combination the builder's bug and poison types has to be able to use, the ground type move and all that stuff, which is, not a lot of Pokemon get different type moves, at least in Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Sandrew, origin discovered in the Kanto region, and the Alolan Sandrew, also discovered in the Alolan region, will be knowing the Ghost type fast attack, Shadow Claw. This will give them a powerful ability to quickly expand some moves, better than Powder Snow at least, but should actually give it a more upbeat scenarios when it comes to different Pokemons or different battles in GBL or in trainer battles. And then the last one but not least will be Ghastly, all the way into Gengar with the Ghost type attack move, Shadow Punch. It charges out quickly and gives it usable to trick opponents using their protective shields. Yada yada yada. Chris, what do you think?
I love it.
What do you think about these choices, the moves choices, and then after that, just tell me which one would you be your first and second pick on the Pokemon Go Community Day?
So going over all of them, Weedle definitely has the most meta shakeup. Like, you don't see many Beedrill, if any, in Go Battle League. But the addition of Drill Run is definitely going to make it more viable. Mm-hmm. And it's a new shiny. It's a beautiful shiny. You want it. After that, Squirtle. No, I don't like it. We've already had it. And Aura Sphere just isn't needed because it already beats the Steels with just Hydro Cannons because it resists Steel being Water type. It's not worthy, man. It's not worthy. And Sandshrew, that's an interesting one. I like that we get both the Alolan and the Kanto, but having the Ghost type damage just doesn't outweigh the spamness that Frost. What is it?
Powder Snow.
What does it normally have? Powder Snow? Yeah,
Powder Snow.
Yeah, you can't beat Powder Snow. At least normal Sandslash would have a little bit more of a meta, like
relevance.
In the it'd be a lot more relevant, but I just don't see it having like a good standing. Shadow Punch Gengar. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants the shiny Ghastly. If you haven't been to GoFest, you probably haven't gotten a shiny Ghastly. And I don't blame you for that. It's very rare. I don't have like a shiny Zubat yet, and that's really rare too.
Yeah, I agree.
But Ghastly, the fact that it gets Shadow Punch, oh my gosh, yes. I really want to see how good it is in Ultra League, because I think that's what's really gonna set it aside. But I also see some viability in Master League as a Metagross counter.
Right.
I don't know how fast it will be, though. I don't know. I don't.
It really depends on the scenario, and unfortunately, we only will be able to have one or two of the Pokemon's feature in the community days coming along. Yeah. But what is your number one pick?
My top choice has to be Weedle. I love the meta shakeup.
I agree on that, and the reason why is, one, it's a brand new shiny in Pokemon Go, which we haven't had yet, and two, it does give in some diversity when it comes to battling different Pokemons. He already, destroys grass types and all that because he's a bug type, and stab bug type actually helps out a lot. But having Drill Run actually gives him a better candidate when it comes down to it. Both a spam me move and something that you can shield bait. Anything when it comes down to it, at least according to the sources, how well Drill Run is and Beedrill. Oh, yeah. I do think that,
especially with the buff,
right? And it's one of those things that will help out. That it really depends on when we'll see it. However, that talk is mostly PvP when it comes down to it. If we go to, let's say, the more casual player, people will be choosing either Gengar or even Alolan Sandshrew, even though it's already been released for a while, and even Squirtle, because we know that there are some casual players that did not have Squirtle Community Day when they were playing days and everything. So. To just continue on with how the blog posts actually happen, how to vote, will go to Twitter between May 23rd at 6 p.m. PDT until Sunday, May 24th at 6 p.m. PDT, which is actually ending less than 50 minutes from this point on. If you want to go and vote for your favorite Pokemon, make sure you go now. If you're listening on podcast services, I'm sorry, this podcast is actually released the day afterwards. So good luck with that whenever you actually become happy or sad. If we actually go to the blog post right now, or the Twitter handle, Weedle is winning at the 34.1% of the votes right now. Surprisingly enough, there's 666,000 people voted so far. Just let that sink in. And then Ghastly is running up right now as 32.3%. Squirtle, surprisingly, is actually chosen as a third choice with 22.8%, and Sandrew at only 10.8%.
Yeah, that surprises me.
Yeah, it's the surprise part that a lot of people weren't expecting. We were actually, a little bit scared because the votes were coming in for Squirrel, and we were like, oh no, this is not happening. And remember, guys, this has only been happening in a 24-hour period, so we've seen the voting go up and down between the Pokemons that we wanted to show. However, one thing you guys have to remember, that even though the two more prevalent Pokemons that are going to appear on the community days, and something that even PokeK actually tweeted out, it's a win-win situation. You're going to have 1 month of this Pokemon, which is probably going to be Whittle because we only have 50 or so minutes left. And then the next month we're going to have Ghastly. So it's a win-win situation. You're still going to have both, and we're still going to be able to test out both. Sandrew is kind of a little bit sad that it's not going to get those exclusive moves. And then Squirtle already has Hydro Cannon, which is actually even better because it's a stab move when it comes down to it. So we do have to know those differences, and we do have to, take care to say that, yes, we'll still be able to choose at least two of the Pokemon. Now, this is running for the months of June and July. And if you guys know, Pokemon Go came out in July. So we're going to see how interesting it's going to be for the community day that we're going to have, probably Ghastly, to the events that are happening for the Global Go Fest or whatever they're deciding to say. We don't know yet because, unfortunately, that kind of data has not actually been released, or that kind of information has not been released. So we'll see. Crognut, not a shiny. Please give me a shiny of that. But yeah, as they mentioned, right now, just go vote. It's still happening for 46 minutes left. If you go to Twitter, Pokemon Go Live, you'll see their poll. I can't even say the word anymore. You can see the poll happening right now for the game. So, all right, Chris, that is our community days for the next 2 months. But there's also some miscellaneous stuff that we got to talk about real quick. Right now, at this moment, actually, not even at this moment. I think it's actually over at this point. I'm not entirely sure. But
just ended, I think.
I think it just ended. It was a 24-hour live stream for the community day of C-Dot community day. Actually, it's still going. Surprisingly,
it is? Okay, cool.
Still going, surprisingly. I thought it was only 24 hours. It started on May 23rd, 2020. So yeah, it is. Yeah, interesting enough, 666 people are watching right now. What is with the 666?
I see.
Looks like there are actually roll calling trainers from Team Instinct, Mystic, and Valor's show in hands. Looks like they're just saying the last few final words on the stream until before the stream fully ends for the community day. You guys can probably hear some background noise, but that's because that is what the live stream is happening right now. But I am gonna just turn that off because we are on a live stream right now, so on ourselves, so that it's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting live stream. It ran for 24 hours since yesterday, and all we see is just C-Dots appearing, Shiftries, some other Pokemon like Squirtle, Weedle. I think I saw a couple Ghastlies over there. But I don't know. It felt like what Pokemon Sword and Shield was for the reveal of Galarian Ponyta in the Withering Woods, and we were like, and I was actually live streaming during the time, and I was like, let's watch this for a second and see if there's anything like cool happening. No, you did not want to see anything of that stream. Kudos.
Just a Ponyta with a missing tail.
Yeah, kudos for Niantic for pulling this off, just like the Pokemon Company. But it wasn't really that that funny. Now, there were some moments where some content creators and some influencers were actually appearing. Notably, Ken Pescator and Adam Tuttles. It's actually two that I actually saw. but you had to be to the live stream probably for hours before you see them. So you, it wasn't like, it was like only a few seconds moments, and I don't know if they were talking because unfortunately there's no playback capabilities on the live stream. So it is what it is. Again, Niantic, good job trying to keep us at bay with the CEDA Community Day, which actually we can also talk about our recaps of that. Chris, how did your Community Day go? It was actually today.
It went pretty good. I believe I got 16 shinies, which is like 10 more shinies than I wanted.
All right.
To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. But you know, it's always fun to get a new shiny. So I had a lot of fun.
Definitely.
I didn't get any good PvP shinies, but I did catch a rank 3, so I was very happy.
That's
very happy.
Well, I actually got 20 shinies going on and off on the whole community. And now this community day was 6 hours, and it was 3-hour duration incest. So I just ran an incest the entire time for 3 hours, and we were like, okay, let's get the shinies. And I got the first shiny. I got it on the second click, which was fine. The one thing that I really wanted to do is actually get a PvP ready Shiftry with Bullet Seed. Luckily, I got a rank 9, which I'm very happy with, even though I wish I would have actually gotten a higher one like Tom.
Sub 50 is good enough. Trust me.
And in between the hundreds or between the 50s are good. I want to say the top 10 is even better, but so it's not a bad thing and everything. Now, before we continue on with our little talk here, Benja Pro, thank you very much for joining us for today's stream, and thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. Helps out a lot. Thank you so much for coming. But yeah, welcome, Nick. Welcome. So yeah, Community Day, it happened. It did. It was okay. I mean, 6 hours, 20 shinies. It was because of 6 hours. Remember, when Community Days were 3 hours, we were scrambling to at least get 10. So it kind of was like that kind of moments where we're like, and things like that, So
I do want to say the in-game ticket event, I heard it was less it wasn't as exciting for a lot of people, especially my friend that played. Because I think he noticed there was less XP to be gained from it, because he's really close to 40, so he was complaining about that. I'm like, but didn't you get Stardust from it?
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, like, yes, you got triple Stardust. Was it triple? Yeah, triple Stardust from catches?
No, it was triple experience from catching.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. That's my bad.
So he needed to run a lucky egg the entire time,
I think he did.
That's good. So yes, so Community Day, it came and went. It was nice, and as you guys know, it happened today, so we're just giving our thoughts about it. Pretty cool, pretty nice. Shiny is all the way, but it's Community Day, so if you get a shiny, you're like, okay, I got a shiny. Let me just get the family, and that's it. That's all I need. But yeah, that was our thoughts and everything. Now, Chris, you want to read that next line of text on our show notes there?
Oh, yeah. Next, they have announced the Unova Legendary Dragon Trio. And that is beautiful. I cannot wait. They're going to be so cool.
Yes, so Unova's Legendary Elite, Reshiram, Sekrom, and Kyurem are coming to 5-star raids, guys. That is probably the most hype news I have heard in a long time, and a welcoming part of the raid scene for sure. If you guys actually see the little picture above, you see the 3 legendary trio happening. Now, if you notice a little bit, I think they're the shiny forms, because Kyurem looks a lot bluer than what it is.
I was going to say that too. It looks a lot different than what I'm used to, but I'm not that familiar with it.
Right. Now, most of the shinies in the legendary trio, they're not like that much different. It's like a color pattern difference. Now, I could be wrong, because I haven't seen it in a while. Another thing to notice from the picture is actually the trainer has green hair. And what trainer in the Unova region has green hair? It's N. And I just noticed that actually, so I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe they tried to do this.
They're super cool with the nostalgia.
Yeah,
like honestly.
Definitely. Now, I wish to play the video. Unfortunately, I feel like we could get copyrighted from it. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys, and you guys can probably go to their Twitter post or their blog post to see the actual video, which is very hyped. But let's talk about these draconic Pokemons, this amazing trio legendary dragons that we're gonna see. So, coming from Pokemon Go Live, trainers, 3 Draconic Rocks have been heard in the distance. 1 belongs to a Pokemon that is capable of scorching the world when the people turn their back on the truth. Another one belongs to a Pokemon that can raise entire kingdoms with its electricity if its deals are not reverted. The final roar belongs to a Pokemon within which dwells in an even greater power bound by extreme cold. Originally discovered in the Unova region and first met by trainers in Pokemon Black version and White version, legendary Pokemon Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kratom will soon be making their Pokemon Go debut in 5-star raids. Be sure to have some more raid passes and regular raid passes ready to go on Tuesday, May 26, 2020, which is this Tuesday, when Reshiram, the Bass White Pokemon, will be first arriving in Pokemon Go. So just as they say, it's coming on Tuesday on May 26, all the way to Tuesday, June 16, which is actually a day after my birthday. Don't forget that. Featuring Reshiram. And we're also going to be featuring the next 3 raid hours, May 27th, June 3rd, and June 10th, from 6 to 7 to be able to catch Reshiram. And you'll also be able to use remote raid passes and regular raid passes. They didn't mention anything about inviting friends yet, so I'm not sure if the invite system is going to come when that happens. But it is a welcome addition. Now, a lot of people are actually saying, is this going to be like a 3-week for each one of the dragons? Or is it going to be 1 dragon legendary and then a recycle legendary, and then another dragon, and then another legendary? What do you think, Chris?
I feel like it's got to be like bam, 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 3 in a row.
Right.
Just like, how can you tease all 3 of them and then just drop Reshiram, you know? I just feel like that would be too much teasing, you know? like, give us all 3 dragons, come on.
Hey, I know, right? So, this happening all the way until Tuesday, June 16. If they're going to give us another 3 weeks, it's going to go all the way to July 7th. And then 3 weeks after that is until July 28th, which is the days after Pokemon Go anniversary comes around. So it's really going to show how, again, all I wanted to know is 2 things. 1, when is the invites are going to come out so we can invite our friends to do raids? That's the number one priority right now for all Pokemon Go players. But 2, I want to know, what are they thinking of doing with, the anniversary that's coming so close? It's only 2 months away at this point, even less than 2 months if you think about it. It's just, I know the GoFest was a big thing. I know GoFest would have been, expanding worldwide connections between trainers and everything. But again, everything just got canceled. Everything got postponed. We don't know how this year is still going to go. We don't know how summer is going to go. I know they're thinking hard, Niantic, but give us something. I know that you guys in their remote raid blog post, they said something about, new events for GoFest and everything so you can play at home and things like that. But I feel like maybe the announcement should be coming relatively soon, maybe in between next week and the following week when it comes down to it, because they want to give us enough time to prepare and, how many days it's going to take, how many things are going to happen, all these things happening. So if it is, it's all welcome. But Chris, what do you think?
I honestly think they might try to be like, oh, we planned this all along and drop the remote being able to invite people around GoFest so we can all spend it together, Right. That's my opinion. But that'd be pretty late, right? Because it would be almost after Reshiram, right?
Yeah, it will be close. So Reshiram and finishes their raids on June 16th. So that's until, and the anniversary is in June 6th. July 6th.
July 6th.
Yeah, if I go, July 6th, which is, the start date of this. But yeah, that's still going to be interesting. Now, not to take away of what Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kratom can bring. We're just stuck in future events when it comes down to it. But again, the roars of 3 legendary dragons, which actually we've been waiting for a longest time at this point.
They're huge, man.
They look amazing. They're interesting typing. I mean, Reshiram comes with being a fire and dragon type. Zekrom comes in electric dragon type, and Kyurem is an ice dragon type, which even interesting typing. There's also, the interesting thing that they can fuse together. And we don't know how Pokemon Go is going to handle fusions Pokemons. There's many speculations out there when it comes to maybe they'll do another 2 months or 2 things of, 2 more of Black Kyurem and White Kyurem or things like that. We don't know. We exactly don't know. There's nothing in the code in the game that tells us that there's going to be any fusion happening. Just like the Oxus, the 4 different forms that we got them in separately weeks, separately months of, EX ray passes. And I don't know what else is out there that's still, working. I think Genesect is still supposed to go out in EX ray passes, but it's still halted because of this whole thing.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to extend that at the end. Yeah. So that's going to be weird.
Definitely their schedule has been completely scrambled and everything has been, postponed or changed for the reason that, they want to make sure that everybody's safe. That's their top priority when it comes down to it. And I think that they're doing their best. Niantic, thank you so much again. You have done wonders for this game since the whole pandemic started. But we want to know a little bit more. Like, we give us a teasers here or a teaser there. Like, I know you guys are good on teasers, relatively speakingly. But just give us something. I mean, we're just hoping how we're gonna see how the summer is gonna work out for all of us. Now that we're a little more free from this whole, pandemic thing and all the stuff, because things are reopening and everything. I know you want to keep us safe. At least until hopefully the end of the year. And, it will come and go until we actually see a more normality come around in our lives, basically. So that's my intake for you, Niantic. Hopefully you will listen into this podcast eventually. But yeah, all right. I think it's time, Chris.
It is. It is time.
It is time. So you guys know that time research challenges that we are having for all 4 of the 4 generations, it's ending this week, with Sinnoh being the last generation. And just as we did the last time, we're gonna go ahead and check our legendary Pokemons in stream for all of you to see and happen. So Chris, if you're ready, we're gonna go ahead and check in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completing the special research once again. All right. Well, we couldn't have a double banger at that point,
1189. What CPU you got?
1177. So you got a better one than me this time. So
I don't remember what perfect is, but I don't think this is it.
Well, I mean, you got it higher than I did, but still. Man, I mean, I wish I could recreate what happened last week, but give or take, we at least had one epic moment from our Groudon research breakthrough.
Oh yeah,
and I already got it with a pineapple. I think I don't remember. Yeah, I got it with a pineapple. Sweet, first ball, nice. All right, what is my intake here? 10, 10, 15. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
That is very interesting. I'm actually going to check that right now for you guys. And of course, if you're listening to in-podcast services, you can always check us out on our Twitter feeds. We'll soon actually have something even more for you guys in the coming days. 10, 10, 15 is around 72% in Grey League. So it's not the greatest. It's actually really bad. It's like 1,123.
That's honestly just due to the fact that it's assuming you can get like a 0, 15, 15 and stuff like that.
Well, yeah. I'll check.
Wait, you can.
Yeah, definitely.
You can.
Definitely need to change that eventually. But, I mean, it has Grass Knot, which is not bad. So I'll probably trade it with somebody and see if I can get better IVs or something. Maybe get worse IVs so I can get, a PvP ready one, which is not bad.
It sounds so funny saying that.
But, yeah. Okay, well, I mean, disappointment can happen. We can't be disappointed all the time. I still don't have a shiny Cresselia, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, I'm just happy getting the Grass Knot.
I know, right?
I have to use Elite TM.
Yeah, so it was fun. It wasn't last week's fun, but still, it's what we get. Let's see if Pikachu's shiny. Nah.
Don't do that to me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that is what we actually wanted to show for you guys. So that's the good part. How did you think that this last research came to happen for you? Like, did it work out for you or something?
I think the hardest part was getting the steel type because you had to depend on like a Shieldon to spawn or doing it in a Bastiodon raid, or also the way we did it was they actually give you a magnetic lure, and my friend threw one and we had a Skarmory spawn.
Oh,
so
nice.
I like the fact that they gave you the lures for it. You didn't have to use them, but if you wanted to easy mode it, that's definitely the way to go.
All I did was just wait for something to spawn. I was actually waiting for a steel type during the research, and luckily I had a Shieldon happen to spawn in my house. So I was like, yes, thank you, Jesus.
Nice.
And I also finished a little bit of research for the electric encounter, which surprisingly enough, even though Pikachu's out there, I couldn't find one when I was actually doing the research. And I was like, what?
Dude, they've been everywhere.
Yeah, they were everywhere. But the
It's
moment,
been wild,
the
man.
moment I need it, the moment that I really do need the research happening or finish the research, I couldn't find one, and I was like, what?
Isn't that weird?
That is.
It's like the game knows.
Glameon? Ah, dang it. Can we actually rant a little bit of how Glameon's like catch screen is so close to the Pokeball that you can barely even do a curveball?
Dude, I swear it wasn't this close before.
I don't know.
And they're like, guys, we're helping you. No,
You're
aren't.
not. We can't
That's
even
too
get
close,
extra experience or anything because we can't even hit a great throw. You can
Yeah,
probably hit
it's funny.
a nice throw if you actually time it correctly, but I don't know. I think I done one great throw on like the 20 Glameons I checked in the last week, so or the last few days at least. But anyways, okay. Well, now that we're still in the topic of the research or the time research, since now that Chris and I has actually finished all the time researches, the 4 time researches that they gave us, we are technically the champion research, but there's a upside to this, and actually that's something that we're going to be talking about right now. The Throwback Challenge of 2020 is going to come also for the casuals, or at least the casual player. You'll be able to buy the special challenge for I think $7.99 or something like that. I don't exactly know.
I think that's what I heard.
Yeah, so for $8 you'll be able to basically buy and get like the Genesect and the Galarian Meowth and the Galarian Stunfish and all those Pokemons that they promise in the post. Now, the reason why they're doing that, and I think this is okay and not okay depending on how you see it, it's because a lot of people who just play the game casually, they don't actually care about finishing the research, do want to still do the special research, but because they were not doing the other research, the time research when it happened, they were not going to be able to experience the actual event when it came out next week, when it's coming out next week.
Yeah.
Now, I think
especially since you have like only a week to complete it.
Right.
That could have been the week that they were the most busy.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, unless you're, Pokemon Go it's your life, you basically don't know that you're going to finish all of that. And you're going to be missing out on some special Pokemons that are going to happen. Galarian Marnitan, Galarian Sunfish, all those Galarian Pokemons that we didn't think we were going to see anytime soon. So, having them buy them is okay. And, of course, gives them a little more money to Niantic. But just like a lot of people are saying, they can buy it anytime. That's not a problem. But they're missing out on the legendary Pokemons that you're catching. Mewtwo, Groudon, Ho-Ho, Cresselia. Some alterations of other Pokemon, like this last Research gave you a Gible, unfortunately.
Not shiny for me.
Not shiny for me either. And actually way worse IVs on that one. But the thing is, the casual player will want to just go ahead and do the challenge at the end. And buy the research and be like, okay, I got another Genesect, another tickets. Now, what is good for the people who work hard to finish all this time research? Now, they're going to give you, of course, extra candies, extra encounters, extra things that's going to help you along the way so you're ahead of the game. Now, there's also the medal and the research that you're going to be able to see on your profile for both the time research special and the special research that we're going to have next week. I think they give you a medal for being the time champion, and you'll also be able to go to your special research and see a completed side, which if you're somebody who likes completing things, your special research will be there for both the time and the champion once you finish it. Do remember, guys, that this final research, the champion research, is not going to be timed, so you can finish it at any point until you get tired of it or not, that depends on you guys. So, but yeah, that's basically what we talk about. And yes, I finally found it. It's actually the ticketed event. The ticketed event is at $7.99.
It is okay.
It can only be purchased with cash or in-game or not in-game money, but currency, regular currency.
Yeah.
And it will start on Wednesday, June 3rd at 1 p.m. And then the last time you'll be able to buy the ticket will be June 8th at 1 p.m.
And it's speculated you'll be able to buy it even if you complete it, which I think's really cool, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. It depends on what we get, I guess.
Yeah, so Galarian Stunfish, Galarian Meowth, Darumaka, all those things. It's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
If they give us a Troll and give us Shinies, that would be even better.
It feels too soon. Maybe one of them, but it feels too soon.
Well, it's like Galarian Weezing right now in raids. You just cannot get a shiny, which the shiny Cantonian form is actually released, but not to us, not the Galarian form at least. If not, somebody will be going crazy with those raids.
Oh yeah,
definitely. So
it's gonna be the next Shinx.
Yeah. So that's what special research. So make sure you guys finish it. It's you have until I think this Thursday to finish the time research, and then by next week you'll be able to start the champion research. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be fun. All right, Chris, you ready to talk about this?
Yeah, because I'm jealous.
So, Mystic7, a real influencer in the Pokemon Go community, somebody who has played the game almost close to from day one. I think he started the game probably a day or so later than most players, or at least most fans of Pokemon. But somebody who has expanded the world and built such a great community for the Pokemon Go scene and everything. He's actually, just like all the other influencers, actually streaming on Twitch right now, because that's the only thing he can really do. He can't go out. He can fly to countries. He can't do anything of that sort. So, of course, as the good person that he is, he's actually staying at home. But at the same time, he's still growing his community. So he's streaming on Twitch just to build that kind of community. But the good thing about it is that the Twitch esports actually gave him the chance to grand stage Season 2 of the Go Battle League. That was pretty fun to watch.
Big. It's going to be huge, man.
And at the same time, before we actually get to the nitty-gritty of this, is that, this is actually recognizing, especially on Twitch, the Go Battle League is something that people want to watch. A lot of the other influencers, or at least the PvP influencers, are actually doing such great numbers when Go Battle League.
Hashtag Battlers.
Yeah, the hashtag Battlers are actually doing a great scene in the PvP community right now. And it's growing, it's immense, and people are just happy with how Pokemon Go is really growing on Twitch, specifically on Twitch, because before it really didn't have a scene. Nobody was, streaming Pokemon Go for any reasons. But since Go Battle League, things have actually sped up, and now Twitch has recognized that, Go Battle League is actually something that maybe they want to watch. So, in that case, I don't know if Chris is actually looking at me or not. I don't know if he's looking at me. Are you there, Chris? Technical difficulties, guys. Give us just a moment. Give us just a minute. There he is. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
What happened?
I moved my cord on accident.
Oh my God. No. Chris is there. I'm going to have to cut that out when it comes down to it. No worries. I'll get some editing done. You're making me work for my stuff. You know that.
You're welcome. Gotta make sure you gotta earn it, man. You gotta earn it.
Dang it. All right. Moving on. So now that esports, or at least Twitch esports, have actually influenced Go Battle League, Mystic7 did a live stream that showcased Go Battle League. However, there's also some other things that happen outside of that. I was able to actually get in a call with two other podcasts and a lot of other influences, both from the Lura podcast and the GoCast podcast. Ken Pescator and Adam Tuttle, Chris, which is from not this Chris, this another Chris, and the cool and fun part of it was that I actually hang out with Liz, which is the manager, one of the managers in Niantic. And if you guys have seen Liz, she's out there helping all the content creators, be part of what the community is. She schedules all their times, where they need to be, things like that. However, she's also like big influencer when it comes to the community. And she helps us reach Niantic for a little more than the other influencers, but maybe around the same. But she has a more saying because she works for Niantic. So Liz, I was able to hang out with Liz for at least, maybe 20, 30 minutes. It was kind of fun. It was fun because every time somebody talked to Liz, or I was just like, I was trying not to actually say something stupid. Because I was like,
I think you did a good job.
Please don't hate me. Please don't hate me. Now, I wasn't able to talk to her fully directly, but it was kind of fun to listen to her, quirks and everything, because even though Liz is such a big person in the community, it's just like, I feel like I'm meeting somebody famous, especially for the Niantic side, like somebody who directly talks to, let's say, John Hankey or something, they talked in the meet and greets of the game, and she has so many secrets in her head that I can't poke at it because I know she's so good at keeping him. Even Ken actually said, I can't poke at anything because I can ask a question 20 different ways and she will still not tell me what's going on. One of the things that she actually said is trying to hold the information about Melton before it was released into the world. And I don't know how long it was. I think it was more than a month. Then she had to hold that type of information to only the person that is supposed to know about this and not tell anybody. Now, do say that when Metal was released, I think she was still being known in the community for what she was doing. But still, having that kind of pressure, a brand new Pokemon, both in Pokemon Go and Pokemon games, Sword and Shield or anything in the likes, it was stressful. And I felt like I don't think I would have been able to hold that information in my mouth for too long before it was supposed to be released. But that was the cool thing about just hanging out with Liz, just for a bit, and then she had to actually go to another meeting because she was also on another chat with Niantic, how Mystic 7 was handling the whole Go Battle League stream, basically. Now, we're also joking around how Mystic 7, even though he's somewhat okay in the Go Battle League scene, wasn't doing Go Battle League.
It was maybe like 1/10 of the stream, at least from what I saw from like 2 hours of it.
Yeah, he was. I mean, at the same time, Niantic was dropping, gifted subs to the channel, and everybody was getting some cool stuff and happening. Niantic, I think, dropped 1,000 gifted subs in the end or something like that. I can't really remember. It was a lot.
Sounds about right.
But it was over 1,000 at some point. That his hype train was off the roof in the end of the day.
Because it was 100 every 15 minutes, and it was I
think it was every half an hour. Long it was. I think it was over half an hour. But either way, he went and did probably one Go Battle League, and then invited a friend and did some trainer battles, which they're not the same because you just know you're battling somebody else. But Go Battle League is the more global sense of it.
Yeah.
But then we have whatchamacallit. We had Ash Battler and Poke King actually appearing on his stream. He brought trainer tips and JT Gilly too. But getting that type of coaches or influencers in the PvP community was actually a great thing and a great way to showcase that Go Battle League, or at least the PvP scene, is becoming a big thing for everybody. And hopefully Niantic
really cool.
Niantic takes in this small piece of information and influencers and say, okay, we have to put time on our PvP scene because we know it's a big thing happening in Pokemon Go right now, especially since everybody can just stay home and play games.
I think it was really cool to see Mystic 7 winning a lot of the battles. I wasn't expecting to see that, honestly.
He was
not because I think he's a bad player. I just think there's a lot more seasoned players than what he battles.
Yeah.
Because he seems like more of a shiny hunter, and that's not saying that's a bad thing. It's just this game has a thing for everyone.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't have to like everything,
Well, at the same time, you also have to think that he showcased probably everything that Pokemon Go has to offer. From Go Battle League,
that's what I felt like.
From shiny hunting, and I think the last one was actually he did a Timber raid somewhere in his house.
Yep.
So he showcased that remote raiding, which something that everybody is looking into right now. So he showed showed all aspects, and it was good. It was good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. But when we were in the chat, everybody's like, "Yeah, do a battle. This is supposed to be Go Battle League and all these things." And if you go to Twitter, you'll see Twitch esports getting their little clips there and there. So it kind of shows.
I was super excited.
It was kind of fun when he used a Infernape against a Bastion, and he was like, "Oh, I'm about to die. I can't do anything." He goes and does a close combat, and he one shots at him, just like.
I lost it. I lost it. Nobody runs close combat.
Oh my god.
They always run Solar Beam.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, dude, we gotta watch out for these close combat Infernapes now. Oh my gosh. It was so funny.
There were over, 1,000 or 1,500. That was actually a lot of people watching his stream. But that's
it was over 2,000 for a lot of it.
Yeah, and it's good because that's what we need. That's what the PvP scene needs a lot. And you'll be able to see more coming along because I think this is not the only time they will showcase something like Go Battle League in the Twitch sport because they saw how well it was doing. Hopefully the numbers were good enough for them to continue on giving Pokemon Go a more meta relevance and maybe, just maybe, put in something like Celta Arena into a more competitive scene with cash money and all that. So,
oh yes,
we'll see how that will go for sure. But yeah, that is our rant when it comes to Mystic 7s. Congratulations, Mystic 7, for actually doing such an amazing stream. The energy in that kid is too good. Feels like he crashes and burns after every stream because he's super hype every single time.
He brings it though. He brings the hype.
He does bring it. All right, so for our next topic, actually, some miscellaneous and some interesting news. There is a collaboration with Unique QLO, new avatar in-shop features. Actually, I can show it to you guys right now. And if you're in the podcast, you can go to the blog post. The styles that you can choose, like an Eevee shirt or a Pikachu shirt. Let me show it for you guys here. And then there's another one, a pink shirt, I think with Ditto. Yeah, Ditto shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So this shirts that you see in-game, they're free. So that's actually good because most of the things in-game are actually not free.
I think I'm going to change that right now.
But from May 18th, which already passed, you'll be able to actually choose this kind of shirts, which are kind of nice. But, this collaboration actually comes with their actual brand. And you can actually buy these shirts in the real world. So if you want to get some cool shirts, go ahead and go buy them. They're pretty nice. I like them. I like the Pikachu one and the Eevee one. Ditto, I'm not much fan of pink, but we'll see. Cash money? I'm in. I know, right, money? Or anime?
Dude, I couldn't even remember how to change my clothes. It's been so long.
Right. Oh, man. I thought that was a shiny hippopotamus for a second there. Get in the ball. Yep. All right. So, let's talk about something that it's going to be interesting for every player in the world. Not just the PvP community, not just the shiny hunters, not just the racing. Everybody's going to be talking about this pretty soon. But this is the announcement. Pokemon Go will go down for maintenance on Monday, June 1st from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. PDT. It will experience
super sad
a global downtime for 7 hours. We're sorry that this is inconveniencing a lot of people. Really? That's all you're saying to this Pokemon Go? Oh, man. So, this game has been out for almost 4 years. Out of those 4 years, we had lags and everything, glitches, and everything you can work for. However, the game, since its release, has never really truly gone down for more than probably a couple of minutes or maybe an hour or something similar. This is the first time we're going to see a full down maintenance for the entire game for a full 7 hours. Now, they did specify their hours, which is good because imagine them telling us, oh, we're going to shut down Pokemon Go. Sorry for the inconvenience. We'll let you know when it's back up. I'm like...
People would be calling a bluff. They'd be like, yo, you guys didn't mean to go down this long.
I was thinking that we're going to try to do that on like an April Fool's or something, but... At least they're giving us some time to experience this downtime. It's going to be on June 1st, which is the Monday. I think I'm working for the majority of it.
I'll probably be working, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's not that big a deal.
Not a big a deal either. It's kind of sad that I won't be able to restock and everything. However, if you're smart, like a lot of players are, you'll be able to, put Pokemons on gyms, put Pokemon, or try to do your streaks early in the day, so when it goes down, you don't have to do them afterwards or wait for another day to finish them. Try to do all the things that you can do in Pokemon Go that usually requires you to finish up a full streak, and then just let it go down. I mean, yes, a lot of people...
Take into account, what time it actually is, though. Like, it says 11 a.m. PDT is when it's going to start.
Yeah.
I did not take that into account when I looked at it the first time.
Yeah, so 11 a.m. PDT, which is 1 o'clock our time? 1 o'clock Eastern time?
I'll take a peek really quick.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's correct.
Yeah, so... for at least for me, I won't experience much. It will probably be mostly the nighttime, and at that time I'm usually home anyway. So finishing up work and then going home. So I really don't play as much Pokemon Go during the time off, and by the time it comes back, 2 o'clock. Excuse me, 2 o'clock.
It's gonna be 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Yeah. Okay, so even better. I mean, it's gonna come back around.
That's when I get out of work.
You won't be able to play Pokemon Go. No. The withdrawals are happening.
I can already feel it.
I know, right? And it hasn't even been. It's gonna happen in 2 weeks. Yeah, no, a week from tomorrow. So
I'm glad they gave us some warning at least.
Definitely.
So this is a very adequate warning.
Definitely. So anybody who's listening to this podcast probably on next hour tomorrow, whenever this podcast goes live, just make sure you remember what date exactly is the game is gonna go down. Take note of your time zone because that will be really important. I know a lot of people probably in the other side of the world are not gonna even feel it because they're probably gonna be asleep. and then just do what you can early in the day or early in the time so you don't experience such a big withdrawal from it. Because if Pokemon Go is your life, you don't want to feel that way for 7 hours, So maybe it will be a good time to, talk back with friends, schedule other things. Now, there's also the speculation of why Pokemon Go is going down for a maintenance server's maintenance. They didn't really say maintenance. They did say they want to go down to do something. I mean, it only says right here on the blog post is that they will experience a global downtime for 7 hours. Okay, so it says undergoing service maintenance. So the speculation that a lot of people are saying when it comes down to this is that, they're getting better servers. Are they fixing lags issues? Are they fixing glitches? Are they doing something that you can't do right now in game live because or people find out about it so quickly, or maybe they're trying to experience something new. It could be a speculation of updating the map or how the game functions. We don't know. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I'm definitely on the boat of at least hoping it's server maintenance, but it wouldn't be that big a deal if it wasn't.
Okay.
I'm kind of assuming that if anything, they're just trying to do some server maintenance on the server they already have.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, even them moving it wouldn't even affect it that much. But you never know. As long as they're trying to make the game smoother for everyone, it's going to make the community happy.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if we do have some downtime.
Yeah, definitely. This is also happening like a week after the Reshiram race come around, so you at least have a full week to be able to experience a good time. And again, it's only down for 7 hours. For most of the people, again, it's gonna be either they're gonna go to sleep, they're not gonna feel it, or
they're waiting,
and then 2 o'clock.
Yeah, they're waiting till after the weekend, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't know.
So it gives us a good, yeah, definitely. I'm hoping that this will give them the time required to fix a lot of the things that the game has problems with. You know, the friend system, gyms, whatever, rates is even having some problems these days. Go Battle League lag and all that. Just like things that I mentioned that I feel like they really do need the game to fully go down, because if they keep the game alive throughout this whole maintenance, it doesn't feel like they can do much just because every player is playing. You know, every player has the game open. Doing
so
something specific. There's billions of players playing this game. Trust me, you don't think that there's that many people actually doing it, but there's people who play this game on a daily basis. There's casuals that just turn on the game and see what's going on. There's so many things that can happen in the game. So I do hope that this maintenance will give them the necessary requirement time to fix whatever they're trying to fix. They could also give us some time for the invitations and all that. So we'll see how that will work out when it does go live and everything. So we'll definitely have more information for all of you the following week happening after that. If not, just follow our social medias and, you know, you'll be more than happy when it comes down to those kind of things. So, yeah. So my question for all of you who's listening to this, both in the stream right now and the podcast, what is your speculation? What is it that you think Niantic is doing when the servers go down? Give us any information or the answer to these questions, both on our Twitter feeds. Mine has been at Pure Larry Go, Chris at Chriso.
Christo0517.
Perfect. You can also go ahead and email us at the Purified Podcast gmail.com, or you can text or voice messages at 941-417-9243. We want to hear from you and exactly what's going on with the game. And of course, if you're gonna, can you tell us what you're gonna do when those 7 hours go down? I think that would be an interesting topic for our next podcast when, you know, everything comes back.
Hashtag how I'm spending my downtime. Oh my gosh.
That's how I'm spending it too, you know. So yeah. But anyways, guys, so that's usually all the information and news we have for you guys today. However, we're going to go ahead and talk about our PvP section. Get good, get wrecked. Here we go, Chris. What is our biggest
pulled up, man.
What is our biggest news for our PvP section here?
So the newest challenge for Sylph is going to be the Sorceress Cup, and that's going to be for the month of June. It's a very interesting looking cup on the I don't know, the front page, I guess. The qualifying types are ice types, poison types, fairy types, psychic types, and normal types, which kind of surprises me, but I know they like to throw in something to balance it out.
Right.
There's only 4 bands. There's one that's really one to keep in mind when building your team, and that's going to be that the second move has to be less than or equal to 50,000 Stardust. There's 2 specific species bans, and that's Dugong and Alolan Raichu. And there's no shadows allowed, which kind of surprises me. I'm seeing a lot more shadows allowed, so I'm kind of surprised by that.
Well, I mean, shadow Pokemons do require more Stardust and investment to it. I think the moves are also in the equivalent to the 50,000, okay?
Honestly, I think the main reason is just the fact that we've only had the one Rocket event.
Oh, yeah.
So they might think, like, well, if a new player joins, they won't be able to have it.
Right.
I think that's the number one reason, at least, but I'm not sure.
Definitely. I do think that that's very important when it comes down to it. The one feels like a really, like, not interesting, but really obvious pick.
Oh, which pick, sorry?
D1. Do one as a ban for this cup.
Oh. Dude, you could pair that with anything, and he would just
Demolish it.
debuff them all the way.
It'll probably be like
anything to fight it.
Yeah, it will probably be the top one if they actually allowed it. So, Alolan Raichu is also an interesting band, but I feel I know why, because I use Alolan Raichu for anything these days.
Dude, it is super spammy. It could even take out like the things that should beat it.
Yeah.
Just because you need something like really good just to beat it.
Yeah.
It can beat like the dark types that are supposed to beat it. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it is, especially now that they have like wild charge boosts and all that. So that's
yeah. I was gonna say pretty wild charge. Oh my gosh, so bad.
But yes, guys. So the Sorcerer's Cup is happening in June for all Pokemon Go PvP players, battlers. Get ready out there for your next arena. So make sure you guys are checking out the Silph.gg for any of the information, of course. We'll definitely give our thoughts and meta relevance once more information comes around. But we still have another week before this month's Silph Arena Cup ends. So we'll see how that works, and we'll keep you up to date as soon as we have a little more information on what's the real meta of this. But yeah, I think that is everything, Chris. I think we finished our podcast today. Ooh. But yes, guys, thank you so much.
A lot of good news.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of things to be hyped about, a lot of things to be worried about, and a lot of things to keep in perspective. So make sure you guys are checking us out, of course, and our podcast feeds. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and anything related to the podcast services. Hopefully you guys can see. We should be having some interesting news for next week's podcast. Be on the lookout for that. Chris and I will actually be working pretty closely with somebody about doing something pretty fun for the podcast soon. But keep your eyes open, your ears open. You guys will hear us in our feeds soon. But yeah, that's basically it. Well, hopefully everything will work out next for the next podcast, and hopefully we get some more interesting news and juicy news next week. What do you guys have to say, or at least Chris, what do you have to say for me?
Also another interesting news point is we should be opening a Discord soon. We're just putting the final touches on it.
Oh, yes.
Just letting you guys know it should be coming sometime soon.
Yep. Another week, another purification, just like Anime said. But yes, our Discord should be opening up pretty soon. We're definitely finishing up the last little tweaks. And that will be live for both of us, both Chris and I, both our channels, and both the Purified Podcast. So all of that will be ready for you guys to go. So Mossy, thank you so much for actually joining us once last thing here at the podcast. I will show you my Pokemon right now so you guys can see it. Because I know he has questions about that. But anyways, guys, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. It's been really fun this week. Chris, thank you so much for joining me once again.
Always a fun time, man.
Definitely. And Chris, if you want to take us away.
Sure. Okay, it's been another good week. I'm sure you guys have all gotten a shiny. Hopefully you guys got your fill of shiny C-Dot and a nice PvP one from your Battle League. They are very annoying to fight. Hope you guys have all had fun listening, and I hope you guys are looking forward to next week, because it should be another fun week for sure.
Definitely. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good